Hello beautiful people, and welcome to today's pick a card reading. Today we are looking at how the person on your mind thinks you feel about them. This does not have to be how you actually feel, but the goal is to just see how they perceive your feelings. So we have 3 piles to choose from. Card 1, 2, and 3. You can choose as many or as few as you'd like, or none at all if you don't feel drawn to them. That is also perfectly fine. And yeah, I don't really have too much to say. Personal readings are available. There will be an extended for every card. Yeah. And I will now leave you to focus on which one of these calls to you the most, and I will see you soon. Hello my beautiful pile ones, and welcome to your reading. We are starting off with these oracle cards first, then we have some tarot to get through, and there will also be an extended, and today we're looking at how the person on your mind thinks you feel about them and about your connection, about the situation that you're in with them right now. And one reminder that I will give is that this does not have to be how you actually feel. I will not be telling you like this is how you feel right now, but the goal is to look at how this person perceives you to be feeling. So it may not be how you actually feel. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's see what we have for this energy. We have the empty room, the bridge. We have the star. Aquarius energy could be significant, but it doesn't have to be. Death of the deceitful. Then we have the labyrinth. We have the 5th house that came out in reverse. And we also have Pisces. Leo energy could be significant as well. So, and Sagittarius, but rather than Sagittarius energy specifically, I am feeling Sagittarius season. So, if you're watching this as I am filming it, Sagittarius season is pretty close. So there could be something going on in the connection or something changing in the connection in the incoming weeks. So anyway, with that out of the way, one thing that I think is the defining energy here is that this person feels like you have moved on in some way from what happened between the two of you. There seems to be this new perspective that you have over what happened, and it does feel for most of you there may have been an ending between the two of you. I don't necessarily feel that the connection is completely severed. So for some of you, you could be in contact with this person, but it could be very limited. They could have reached out to you a few times or vice versa, or you could have bumped into each other, or you could see them but not talk very often. But regardless, it feels like whatever happened in the past with this 5th house energy, and for most of you, I do feel that this is like a romantic interest or an ex-partner, maybe an ex-spouse. But it feels like they feel that the serious feelings that you had towards them in the past, the very committed, very loving, very generous, very playful feelings that you had towards them in the past, it feels like they have faded. This person feels that the way you feel about them has changed significantly. But there is also this energy of feeling like there is still something here. There is still a connection that this person thinks you feel towards them, but it's not so simple. It feels like there could be a lot of circumstances that got in between the two of you in this connection. It also feels like it could have been that you found it difficult to see eye to eye, or the give and take wasn't mutual, because it doesn't feel like a lack of interest on your end or on this person's end was what drove the two of you apart. It feels like there were things in between that were keeping the two of you apart. And for some of you, this could have been a long distance relationship, and that could be part of the reason. But besides that, it could have just been both of you feeling unheard in some way within the connection, or unseen with this empty room energy coming out. Even though I do think when you were with this person, both of you cared about each other a lot, but in your own way, and them in their own way. So it feels like maybe there was a bit of confusion and a bit of a limbo when it comes to where this connection is really headed, especially if there were physical obstacles between the two of you as well. It could have felt like the foundation wasn't really strong enough. And right as I was saying that, I just saw 444. I was just checking the screen for a second. And 4 for me is the number of stability, like 4 walls, foundations, family. So this could have been someone where in the past, and they recognize this as well, someone with whom you had kind of more serious dreams about, or it could have been discussed that maybe you would have a family together one day, or maybe you already did for some of you with this person. You could have had kids with them with the 5th house coming out as well. Or you could have had dreams of having kids with them, because we also have this Pisces energy. So that could have been something you daydreamed about. And this person seems to have been in some way aware of this energy. For most of you, I think this is because you were with this person in a committed relationship of some kind. And looking at your feelings right now, it feels like judgment energy. It feels like this person thinks you've realized some truths about them and about this connection. And it seems like it doesn't matter if they think it's right or wrong, because you have come to certain understandings for yourself separate from this person. Your energy is coming through very independent, and I think this person is aware of this as well, that your focus has shifted from them and more within yourself. And it feels a bit like this person it feels like they see you accepting and coming to terms with whatever happened in the past of this connection. They see you balancing out the pain, and balancing out the pain with a better understanding of why things may have turned out the way that they did. I don't think they feel that you feel very burdened by this. I think they more so view you as healing, transforming. But in some way, this connection seems to be something that they still perceive, like going from your energy to theirs as well. So it kind of feels like they may know how caring you are. They may know how nurturing, how generous, how open you are. And there seems to be this feeling that that energy is maybe not entirely for them anymore, not entirely open to them anymore, but it feels like there is also not like hatred or a lot of negative feelings necessarily. At least looking at this, I feel like this person more so may feel like you are unfocused on this situation and like kind of nonchalant about it, rather than feeling like you are heavily experiencing feelings about it. It feels more like a mental energy rather than an emotional energy as well. It feels like maybe they feel that for you, the romance and the feelings, they are something of the past when it comes to this connection. But I can't really like ignore this energy with the bridge. This person might be someone that recognizes you feel connections on a very deep level, on a very beyond what meets the eye kind of level, on a very spiritual level. They may not label it as spiritual, but that might be how you feel your emotions. That might be how you felt connected to this person in the past. And if they are aware of this more spiritual side to you, I feel like they also feel that the connection is not entirely discarded, in the sense that I think they feel that you still feel some form of love towards them, but it's a different kind of love. And I think this person recognizes that in some ways they may have let you down. I don't think they were deceitful for most of you. For some of you, they may have been. But for most of you, I feel like it was a matter of maybe you seeing the potential of this person more than who they really were showing up as within this connection. Because with this Pisces energy, it almost feels a bit idealized. They may feel that in the past you were idealizing them in certain ways and not seeing them for who they really are. And I don't feel that this is something they judge you for or anything. And I think it's a beautiful thing that you can see the potential in other people. But it also feels like when it comes to matters of this connection, it may have led to you having unrealistic expectations of this person about things that maybe they were not able to do. Maybe you had some needs and you expressed them to this person, but they didn't feel that they had the resources to meet these needs or to give you what you want. And I don't think it's a matter of like this person having had bad intentions. I also just saw 1111. I don't think it's a matter of this person having bad intentions, but it feels like you may have been further along the road than this person was, and you may have come from very different places. You may have very different attachment styles. It feels like just something, while the connection was there, especially in the past, and it was there very strongly, it also feels like something was a bit up in the air and a bit mismatched. So all of these emotions were also maybe not expressed in the best way possible. And I feel like there is also a feeling of you holding back from this person. It feels like they view you as being a bit reluctant to approach them. And more so just being focused on you, doing you, and what you want to do. And you may have a lot of things to figure out in your life. Your life may have changed a lot since this situation ended, or there was a big conflict, or something separated the two of you. I think this person is not entirely aware of what you're up to necessarily, especially not down to every single detail. But I think they perceive you to have a lot of things that you're figuring out for yourself. There may be a lot of changes happening in your life, a lot of shifts, a lot of new doors opening up. And they feel this energy to some extent. And I think they feel that you see this situation as a dead end. I'm really drawn to kind of the parallel with the wall here, but then the gates that we have here with the star energy. And also with this Pisces, there is a path and kind of a door over here. So they see you as going through some kind of transformation that is bringing new energies into your life and a lot more balance for you as well, while emotionally in some ways leaving them and this connection behind. Now this doesn't, as I said, have to be how you actually feel or what you're up to, but this seems to be the impression that this person has right now. And I want to get into the tarot now, but before I do, I will quickly talk about the extended, because when I put it at the end, I seem to forget to talk about it. So I just want to get it out of the way. In the extended, we will be turning the tables and looking at how they currently truly feel about you. And we will get tons of channeled messages from them to understand their side and where they're at with the situation better. We will get a message from their higher self, advice or something you need to know, whatever wants to come through. I'm not limiting that. And we will also get some channeled messages from your higher self to finish off the extended. But now we're going back into this, and hopefully there won't be a lot of naked people showing up on the cards, because YouTube does not like that, and I'm a bit tired of that, but whatever. I've been seeing a lot of repeating numbers while filming your pile, and I often don't really check the camera out that much when I'm filming. So repeating numbers could be something that you're experiencing. You could be seeing signs about this person, about this connection, or just about your life path and what you're going through in general. So I would pay attention to those if that is something that resonates with you. Okay. Pile 1, please. How does the person on pile 1's mind think pile 1 is feeling about them? How does this person think pile 1 feels? We have the Hanged One in reverse. Pisces energy is coming through again. We have the 9 of Cups. We have the 10 of Cups in reverse. We have the 2 of Swords. I didn't realize it was this many, but I guess since I took them already, we are sticking with that. We have we have the King of Swords in reverse. How does this... We have the Knight of Cups. The way your love flows has shifted. This person feels like you've changed your mind about them and about giving love to them and about giving warmth to them. It doesn't feel like they perceive this to be that something that comes from having bad intentions on your end. I don't think they see you as having bad intentions towards them, but more so it's an energy of acceptance and feeling like you want to move on, feeling like you should move on, and recognizing that this situation may have not been your wish fulfillment. And again, this doesn't have to be how you actually feel, but this person seems to feel like you are coming to terms with what happened in the past, and that this person could not meet your needs, and this situation was not something that you wanted to settle for. Regardless of who walked away from who or how this separation happened, I really don't feel for most of you like you would be with this person right now, or if you are, the connection might be feeling a bit cold and not exactly the way it used to. But regardless of who initiated this kind of drifting apart type of energy, this person sees you flowing with it rather than trying to go against it and trying to like fight back. Maybe in the past you wanted to fight back against it, but it seems like that has left, and in its place now is a sense of, I want to heal from this, I want to learn from this, I want to have things in my life that make me feel good. I think you are expressive about your needs. Even if you weren't in the past, they see you as someone who knows what they want, especially in a relationship sense. You don't need to have your whole life figured out, and maybe there are a lot of things to figure out in your life that are shifting and changing right now for you, especially with this Pisces energy coming out a lot. It makes me feel like there are endings happening, like things wrapping up in your life, and a big collective shift in the energies of your life. For some of you, you could have moved away physically from this person as well. Maybe you separated because of this. We have, this was the bottom deck energy, literally just now. I don't know if it was on camera at all at any point, but yeah. And sticking out, this is the Three of Swords in reverse, the Sun in reverse, and we also have the Eight of Cups in reverse. They see you coming home to yourself. This person might feel that they have hurt your inner child in a way, or triggered a wound in you that goes beyond this person. They may feel like they validate a fear that you had, or reactivated a pain in you. And they see you healing from this. They really see you in an incredibly strong, incredibly inspiring energy. This person feels like you've been going through it, but you are going through it. Like, you are getting it right. You are getting things right for yourself. You are being fearless. You are expressing yourself loudly. And it feels like you're shining brighter and brighter every day. There is a lot of growth in this energy. And the feeling that is coming through the strongest is peace. Having peace with what happened, like making peace with what happened. I'm going to have to put a little sensor on this. Here we go. We have the Queen of Pentacles. Feels like you're taking the reins in your own hands and you are making the things happen for you. They see you as really being in an abundant space. They may also see you as very successful, or like taking big financial strides right now. Can we clarify the Two of Swords, please? How does this person think pile one, pile two? I don't know why I said that. Let me refocus for a second. Can we clarify the Two of Swords? How does this person think pile one is feeling about them? We have the Four of Wands in reverse, definitely moving away. It feels a bit like they see you as closing this chapter between the two of you and feeling like you were given no other choice. It is the only right thing to do, is to move out of your comfort zone when it comes to this connection. I am not saying this, by the way, as like an objective truth kind of way, but I think this person sees you feeling this way. I just feel like reminding that in case that the point of this reading gets lost somewhere in everything that I'm saying. But I think this person feels that you think there is no other way, there is no other path, and you have to make your own path now, separate from this situation, separate from this connection, separate from what happened between the two of you in the past. But I think they also recognize that you have a really good heart. You have a really big heart. And that you're not someone who like hates people or carries very negative feelings with you far into the future. I think they recognize that it's difficult to read where you're at, especially if you're in contact. They may find the way you speak to them kind of confusing, or like if your behavior has changed when you interact with them, if it feels colder, like if you have been showing up as a colder version of yourself, or you've been more distant with your words, you've been saying fewer things to this person, they pick up on whatever subtle differences may be in the way that you interact with them. Or if there is no contact at all, that might be a new experience for this person, because you may normally be very communicative and you may feel more comfortable staying in communication normally. I think they also recognize that while there is this energy of like, there's no other choice, I have to keep moving, it almost feels like out of maybe the 7 cups that you're pouring into right now, you could be dating, you could be like focused on your career, hobbies, whatever these cups may be for you. I think they see one of them as having some drops of what the two of you had still in them. And I think they recognize that your mind must wander back to them because of what the two of you had. Or at least that's what they tell themselves. It doesn't have to be the case at all, but that's what it feels like. And beneath the 7 of Cups, we had the Strength card in reverse. Leo energy is coming out again. This person sees you as incredibly strong and incredibly brave. And there is almost this feeling of like the two of you being different in that way. It feels a bit like that kind of bravery, that kind of strength, that kind of really battling with your emotions, because this person knows that you feel your emotions to the extremes. You're not stoic, you're not someone who just puts their emotions away, you're not someone who is afraid to feel. And I think that's something that this person finds very fascinating, because I think that's something that they are typically avoidant of. In terms of the dynamics, this person may have been more avoidant, you may have been more anxious. Doesn't have to be those labels exactly. I don't want to label you, but I feel like there was kind of like a contrast in how you approach relationships and how you may react to feelings of anxiety or fear or confusion. You may have had very different ways of dealing with it. And this person is very aware of that very stark difference. Is there anything else that wants to come through that we have Strength in reverse again? What is it? I'm gonna shuffle over here. Just because I know this deck has a bunch of nudity. We have the Ace of Swords. Interesting. They see you fighting, literally cutting down anything that is confusing, anything that doesn't make sense, anything that doesn't fit into your vision of your own life. They see you cutting it down if something doesn't fit what you want. So in some ways, I think they see you as being in a bit of a ruthless energy, but not ruthless in the sense of like you have no empathy or anything like that, but it feels like you are putting yourself first, and this person maybe hasn't really seen you do that too much within your connection, but they see the difference as clear as day, that you are transforming through what happened, and you are harnessing this energy, this power. I'm seeing like you wrapped in this energy, like it feels like something ended and then these strings of energy are wrapped around you and you're just spinning, and the energy is growing the more you spin. And it's like you're levitating and you're going somewhere and like spiraling, and it feels like you're going higher. I don't know, that's that's what's happening in my mind's eye. Oh, wow. And there is a big storm outside suddenly. Literally, this started happening in the last like 2-3 minutes, I think. But anyway, let's see if there is anything else that wants to come through. Otherwise, we are going to the extended. I don't know if you can hear the wind, but it is wild. Not gonna lie, I kind of enjoy this weather. Anything else? How does this person think pile 1 feels about them? Okay, last second, we have the Emperor, 4 of Pentacles, and the 8 of Pentacles. I think they feel that you see them as responsible for their own actions, and if they want to do something, it's on them, and you're not really going to be offering them something on your end. Feels a bit like you've like let them be. You've let them take control of their life, their healing, whatever they're dealing with, and you've stopped providing. That's what it feels like. You've stopped providing to them, but you're providing to you, and whatever provides back to you as well, or whatever makes you feel good. And I think on this note, this is all I have for you. I will see you in a little bit if you are joining me in the extended, and if not, I already wish you a beautiful day, night, whatever time of the day it is for you, and I'm sending you tons of love. Take care, and bye. Hello, my beautiful pile 2s, and welcome to your reading on how the person on your mind thinks you feel about them and your connection. We are going to start off with these cards first, but before we get into the reading, I want to remind you that we're looking at how they perceive you to be feeling rather than looking at how you're actually feeling. So this may not be how you actually feel, and that is okay. It could still be your pile if this sounds like how your person, how the person on your mind would perceive you. But anyway, let's get into this and see what we have. We have the link. We have the cave. I'm really drawn to the letters A and T here. So that could be someone's initials or it could mean something. We have the poet. We have the King of Cups. In Between Worlds. Pink Bubble Fairy. The number 7 could be significant. So we have 34, which adds up to a 7. And we have the number 7 with the poet here as well. We have the 7th house, which is a 7. And we have 6. Libra energy could be significant with the 7th house coming out, as well as Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio with this King of Cups energy. Okay. There is something subdued about this energy, and I want to start with that. And I would interpret this one of 2 ways. Either this person feels that you feel the two of you share a connection that other people would not understand. But another way I would interpret this is, besides that, there may be something that is a secret about this connection. So you may work at the same place and there may be rules about dating a coworker, or one of you might be in another commitment already, or one of you might be going through a divorce, for example, and this is something that's happening on the down low, or you go to school together, or you know each other through mutual friends, but there are some complications in the friend group. Something along those lines. It doesn't really matter what the exact circumstances are for the purpose of this reading, but if this sounds like your situation, I feel like this person sees you being very caring towards them. But then again, with this cave energy, it feels like it's only for the two of you to know. It feels like there is something hidden about this, something that is a bit more repressed. And it doesn't really feel like you get to express your emotions to this person very openly. This could be because of certain limitations in your environment, but it could also just be that you choose not to. Though I feel like for most of you, that's not really the case. Because with this King of Cups energy, I feel like this person feels that you are emotionally expressive and emotionally open, and you are able to kind of quantify your emotions, or at least approach them and be curious about your emotions. You are someone who wants to understand their emotions, who is not afraid to feel them. But with this in-between worlds energy and the pink bubble fairy, something about this situation doesn't feel realistic. This person might feel that you are not being entirely realistic in certain ways, in the sense that, again, I think there are certain limitations to this situation, and they may feel that your perspective and your approach is one that does not fully acknowledge the circumstances, or I could also interpret this as this person feeling like you want to ignore the circumstances and kind of rebel against them. But it does feel like this person feels very cared for by you, and they recognize that you are drawn to them. And I feel like you're not necessarily afraid of this person knowing. For some of you, you could have made art related to this person, or they may have felt like if you make art, that something you made was inspired by them or inspired by your connection. I feel like in terms of the state of the connection, this is going to be one pile where you could be at any point with this person. But regardless, the one thing that is in common is that there is something that is subdued, something a little bit hidden, something that other people are better off not knowing about, not being involved in, not being too aware of. It's better to have people like just not take notice of this connection. This person thinks you feel very drawn to them, very connected to them, very loyal to them as well. And they might feel that they inspire you in certain ways. And this might also be an energy that like just runs between the two of you. You might both do art, and maybe for some of you, that's how you connected. Regardless of any physical boundaries, distance, circumstances, other people, they feel that this connection is on your mind often. With 6, I'm thinking of the 6th house. And that has Virgo energy, and it feels like you may have this conversation on your mind very often, and you may think of ways of making a deal, negotiating something for the two of you with whatever circumstances that you are in. I think this person feels that you are very invested in your connection, and you may even look at them a little bit behind like rose-tinted glasses. With this pink bubble fairy energy, they might feel like sometimes you put them on a bit of a pedestal. You may see them differently than how they're actually showing up, or you may see them as having more potential than what they feel about themselves. You may see parts of them that they don't see in their own self. You may encourage them in ways that they've never been encouraged before. You may try to be there for them in ways that other people have not been there before, have not done for them before, in ways that other people have not done for them before. I think they see you as being hopeful when it comes to this connection. But there is also this energy of you moving in your own life as well. It doesn't feel like you're sitting and waiting for this connection necessarily, and this person is also aware of that. it does almost feel a bit like a silent agreement between the two of you, that both of you do your own thing, but this connection is what it is, and it is felt, it is there, it is acknowledged by the two of you. For some of you, this person knows that you are interested in the tarot. Or maybe for some of you, this person feels that this connection is something that awakened you spiritually or made you more interested in the tarot because of the frustrating circumstances that surround it. Maybe you were looking for an answer as to why you felt this way about this person. And for some of you, you may have shared this with this person. I don't think they would be aware of your spirituality or how you approach it, or how this connection could have affected you in that way if you have not told this person. But for some of you, I think this person is aware of kind of this spiritual journey that you may have been on, especially with the In-Between Worlds card coming out as well. And this kind of looks like a crystal ball, like you were trying to get ahead of this connection or to have more information about this connection through means that may not be necessarily the most like usual or expected. And with just like honey, like that's written here, this person recognizes that you are very attracted to them, at least energetically, but probably like beyond that as well. I think they feel a lot of appreciation from you. And I'm just noticing this says dreams. Yeah, like you may have a lot of ambitions and dreams about this connection or certain desires, and they feel that these desires don't match the current state of the connection or your physical situation, like the physical boundaries that may be between the two of you. There seems to be a bit of a mismatch in terms of like your vision and where this connection currently is right now. And of course, I'm not saying like that's where the connection will stay necessarily, but I think this person may feel that you are more idealistic than practical when it comes to the inner workings and the figuring out of the connection between the two of you. Let's get into the tarot, and before I start shuffling for that, I will quickly talk about what we're looking at in the extended, because I tend to forget when I put the information about the extended as the last thing I do in a reading, so I'm just gonna get it out of the way now. In the extended, we will look at how the person on your mind is feeling about you currently. So the other way around, same thing, but other way around. We'll get tons of channeled messages, and we will also get a message from their higher self about what it is that you need to know about them, about their feelings, about their circumstances, about their desires, about the connection, whatever it is that is relevant for you to know right now. I will leave it open in that sense. And we will finish off with some advice and or channeled messages from your higher self for right now. And yeah, if you're interested, the link will be down below. If not, that is also perfectly fine. We still have a bunch of messages for this reading. So I'm just going to shuffle a little bit off to the side because this deck, like the one I used for pile 1, has a lot of nudity, and YouTube does not like that. And sometimes I forget that YouTube doesn't like that. So I don't want to get censored. I don't want to get restricted. Pile 2. How does this person think? Oh, we have one already. It hit like the legs of the table when it was going down twice, and it just did a bunch of flips, which I thought was interesting. We have the, I was going to say the Heir of Queens. We have the brain. We have the Queen of Swords in reverse. That's what we have. We have the Hermit. The Virgo energy could be significant, and that was already coming through with the first part of your reading. Okay. Do not have to cover this as per YouTube rules, but gotta do it when it's a woman. So, okay. We have the Six of Pentacles in reverse. How does this person think? We have the Five of Wands. We have the Eight of Cups. I'm hearing keep coming back. Keep coming back. We have the Queen of Wands in reverse. I did not realize I would have to cover up so much. Can we clarify the Hermit? See, like covered up, something covered up, something needs to be hidden. Obviously the context of this cover up is different, but I feel like it's kind of fitting that it's this deck for your reading. Can we clarify the Hermit, please? We have the Ten of Pentacles. Okay. Two of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. This person definitely feels that you have a lot more optimism when it comes to this situation than what might be happening in your reality currently. It feels very mentally strong, like you are set on figuring things out. You are ambitious about figuring things out with them and talking to them. I think they feel that you are quite expressive with them in terms of like what's on your mind. Like they feel that your mind is understood and seen through your actions as well. I feel like they see you as being open to them and open to more with them, more commitment with them than maybe what is possible right now in your current situation. With the Wheel being in the reverse, it really feels in some way outside of your control. It feels like it's just the circumstances that you are in currently that are blocking this connection in certain ways, rather than something either of you chose on purpose. Feels like the circumstances existed before this connection did. And this connection could only grow so much in the circumstances that you were in. And these circumstances, for some of you, they don't have to be so physical. They don't have to be so solid. They can also be like someone's family is not okay with it, or there is a huge age gap and that brings hesitations, or that brings a mismatch into the connection. It could also be things along those lines. We have the King of Wands. They see you as wanting to give a lot to this connection, and it almost feels like even if they are a bit more withdrawn, or if they are not able to give as much, you are willing to make up for that as well. Like you're willing to put in enough effort for both of you. That's kind of what it feels like. This person might feel a bit like you have been holding this connection together against any and all conflict that may show up. We have the King of Pentacles as well. Yeah, it really feels like you've been the rock of this connection, and this person recognizes, like, we have a chameleon here, and it feels like you just adapt to whatever conflict is thrown at you within the situation. Whatever new factor comes in, whatever difficulty comes in, you have a mindset of like, I can do this, I can get through this, we can get through this, I can make this happen. So I think this person feels that you have such a strong resolve when it comes to this connection and making things happen, making things work, bringing this connection to a point of stability. Can we clarify the 8 of Cups, please? We have the Fool in reverse. Aries energy could be significant. Can we clarify the 8 of Cups and the Fool in reverse, please? What is this about? I think this person sees you trying to be a lot of things at once, especially within the realm of this connection. They might feel that you feel a bit overwhelmed by the circumstances, even though you have this very strong resolve and a lot of bravery in terms of facing this connection, facing it authentically, being your authentic self, and not being afraid of the consequences of what your desires might be. Because I think they see you as being very certain about this connection, very certain that you want it in your life, very certain about your feelings for this person. They don't see you as someone that's wishy-washy. They don't think you feel in a wishy-washy way. They feel like you feel very much all in, even if there are conflicts or blockages or obstacles getting in the way of this connection. Also with the Hermit energy, it really feels like you are both just a bit more withdrawn and in your own space right now. So it does feel like for most of you, things may really not be where you wanted them to be or expected them to be. And I think that's also acknowledged by this person. With this 8 of Cups energy and the Fool in reverse, they might feel that in the past they've heard of or even witnessed people take advantage of this energy that you show up in, this very certain, this very trusting, this very powerful, I'm here for you kind of energy. And this person, I think, feels a tinge of disappointment in your energy as well about how things may have happened in the past. It's not that you haven't picked yourself up and like kept going and kept trying again and kept being brave and kept facing whatever circumstances you are in. But it almost feels like they sometimes see something deeper, something that's a bit sad and a bit bittersweet in your emotional body. They may not be able to put a finger on why. They may not be able to talk to you about why. But this person recognizes that you've been wronged, and even so, how open you are anyway, how willing to try you are anyway, how open to a new experience you are anyway. So this person thinks you feel very brave. Even if other people might see that as reckless or like, oh, you didn't think through this, it feels like this person sees that you don't really care about that. The circumstances might be limiting you, but it feels a bit like you follow your heart. You follow what you're sure of, and this person sees that very clearly. Is there anything else? I'm just gonna see if there's anything we're missing in terms of how this person thinks you feel about them and the connection. I think they also feel that you are trying to give them space and not really like, I'm hearing disturb them. Maybe they think that's how you feel. Maybe you've told them that that's how you feel for some of you. This person, I think they might feel that sometimes, even though they see this kind of power in you, I think sometimes they feel that you make yourself smaller than you are for the comfort of other people when you care about them. I don't mean people, like random people, but it feels like maybe when this person may know some things about your childhood or your past experiences, they may also feel like sometimes you show up this way in this connection as well, like as trying to make yourself a bit smaller for the comfort of others. It doesn't have to be the case for every single one of you, but for some of you, I think this person feels your wounds and where it hurts for you as well, and they are aware of it, but it also feels a bit like this hasn't really been fully discussed or like laid out on the table and dealt, like something that you've really discussed together. I don't know. Again, there is this energy of things being a bit not fully out in the open. Even between the two of you, it feels like maybe there are certain things that you feel you can't talk about right now or shouldn't talk about right now for the sake of balance, for the sake of not rocking the boat, for the sake of not disturbing the circumstances. And it feels like the energy that this person perceives you to be in, this very ambitious, this very I can make this happen type of energy, it feels like it really clashes against the circumstantial boundaries that this connection is in. So that's a very interesting interaction to observe as energy in a reading, I think. Is there anything else that we are missing? Give this 2 more shuffles. Okay, I think on this note, this is all I have for you. I hope this was helpful. If you are meeting me in the extended, I will see you in a little bit. If not, I am already sending you tons of love. Take care and bye. Hello, my beautiful pile 3s, and welcome to your reading on how the person on your mind thinks you feel about them and your connection. We're going to start off with these cards first, but before we get into your reading, I will quickly mention that the point of this reading is to look at how they think you feel rather than how you might actually be feeling. So how they perceive your feelings may not be your actual feelings. But if this sounds like not how you feel necessarily, but like the perspective of the person on your mind, and I will kind of get into what may have happened here between the two of you as well, so you can confirm for yourself or figure out if this is not the pile for you. But yeah, just wanted to say that, and now we can get into your reading. We have the Awakening with the Sun here. Leo energy or Leo season could have been significant. I feel like Leo energy was coming out in every single pile today. So late July to August could have been significant for this connection. We have the riddle. We have gnosis. That's what we're gonna go with. Some of these I've never like heard pronounced by someone. So 5 of Cups. Gifts from the past. We have Justice, Waxing Crescent, and we have a Cancer. Cancer energy could also be significant, which is pretty close to, well, it's right before Leo season, so this summer could have been a significant time for this connection. But looking at this energy, I feel like there has either been a big conflict here or you are in separation from this person. And for some of you, they could have ghosted you or walked away from this connection in a way that was kind of unexpected. And it feels like that has awakened you to some truths about your approach versus this person's approach, and how you've been showing up in this connection versus how this person has been showing up in this connection. I think they tell themselves that, I think they feel that you still feel emotionally connected to them. This doesn't have to be the case, once again, but I feel like this person feels that you are not over what happened between the two of you, and you could still be grieving over what happened. I think they may perceive you to be haunted by what happened in a little bit and running from it as well. Not in the sense that you're afraid of facing the consequences, but it feels a bit like you may be not giving this person the same type of energy you used to in the past, and they may be interpreting that as you being afraid of the consequences, or you being afraid to approach this connection. But it also, to me, feels a bit more purposeful on your end, like you've made kind of a judgment call, you've made some kind of decision based on this person's actions and how they have been treating you. But with this Mars and Scorpio energy, this person might perceive you to be a bit aggressive towards them, like hurt, and because of that you are aggressive. So I think in some ways they understand that their actions and how they've shown up in this connection has affected you significantly in a negative way as well. Like it feels as though they acknowledge that this connection has awakened a lot of negative emotions in you towards this person, when maybe at the beginning it was actually very promising. And there is this feeling of almost going back to the past, or trying to find the direction of the past again. So this person, I think, feels that you may just want things to not have been this way at all. You may have just, I think they feel that you want to go back to what it was, and you want to revert the connection back to what it was before this conflict brewed between the two of you. It feels a bit like broken promises with the riddle. Like they would say something, not keep that promise, come up with an excuse, promise again, delay it. It just feels a bit like a tiring cycle. And I feel that they feel like you would not trust them anymore, and you would not trust their word, and that you feel like you are doing the right thing. But at the same time, and I don't know how accurate this is on this person's end, it might apply to some of you that this person feels you are open to exploring this connection again. Your energy does feel withdrawn, but it also feels invested in certain ways to maybe finding a solution to whatever happened, or for this person to right their wrongs again, that they did in this connection, like to turn back the time a little bit. And I think it's coming through as turning back the time, because I'm kind of switching to what I feel objectively, but it feels a bit like you may feel like some things that happened are irreversible, or the damage that they did is irreversible. I don't think this person necessarily recognizes that. I do think they are seeing you trying to have a bird's eye view of the situation, but I also feel that they're not fully aware of the conclusions that you may have come to about them. And while they recognize you are having certain realizations and certain things are shifting within your perspective towards this connection, I don't think they have a full understanding of what that is and where you're ending up at. But they do feel a level of aggression and a level of guardedness towards them on your end, like you've turned your back on them. It feels like your energy turned away from them. They feel that you are turning away from them. But it also is not necessarily a feeling of walking away entirely. I think this person views it as you looking away from them, but they are still there. Like you are still in the same room, or you are still in the same building, but you've turned away from them. That's kind of what it feels like. I think that's how they interpret how your energy feels to them right now. And they may feel that you may be quite up and down with how you feel about this situation. You may feel a bit undecided. For some of you, you may have shared this with this person, especially if they came forward and wanted to like make amends or talk about things. You may have told them you need more space, and you may have been a little bit more aggressive towards them, or not even aggressive, but just more protective of your own self, which they may have interpreted as aggressive. I do think this person is someone that maybe has a more simplistic view of emotions and may not delve into the more complex, the complexities of human emotions very much. They may label things as just this or that or black or white, and they may just go with it. But I feel that that's maybe not the system that you use. That's not the system that you've learned to use, you've taught yourself to use. I feel like you have a much more complex understanding of human behavior and how people show up in relationships and overall relationships in general, where you may at least be like wanting to learn more, wanting to understand more, wanting to learn about different concepts. And I feel like that has given you a broader perspective than this person maybe currently understands in where they're at with themselves right now. There may be certain aspects of your emotional body or your perception of this person that they don't understand at all. And they may misinterpret some of the ways in which you show up as like you abandoning them, or you like not being forgiving. And I'm saying these because I feel like some of you could have heard these like being said to you by this person, because I think they feel that you are cold and intimidating, but it feels like there is a long past here of you being the opposite of this and repeatedly showing up in a way that is warm and comforting and accepting and forgiving. But it also feels like this person is more focused on the shift from like how warm you were to not being so warm right now and being more guarded. And they may not focus on the why very much. They may just say pile 3 changed. The way pile 3 treats me is different. Pile 3, I know I messed up, but you didn't forgive me, and you should have. I'm not saying this as me. You do you. I think you should do what feels right to you, rather than what anyone else says or what anyone else feels is the right thing to do. And I think the degree to which this person has like caused you pain within this connection will be different for every single one of you. So I don't want to put everything into one group. But I do feel that the common ground here is that this person took you for granted and didn't really treat you the way you deserve, didn't treat you the way you maybe asked them to. I feel like this person could have made empty promises. They could have led you on for some of you, or not made their intentions known for some of you. There also could have been a third party with this riddle energy. It almost feels like there is like 3 energies occupying the occupying the same space. That's how I'm seeing it right now anyway. And this makes me think of snake skin. And snakes can be like a symbol of something sneaky sometimes, even though I think they're actually quite cute. And I'm really drawn to the imagery on the Cancer card right now. It feels like there are many layers as to why you are showing up this way in this connection right now. And you understand all of that. Like, you've gone down that spiral. You've you've been putting effort into understanding yourself better, but this person doesn't see. They're all the way behind at the like top layer. They only see the end result. They don't see what's underneath it. So I do think their perspective, their perception of how you feel is limited in certain ways to their own mental limitations and their own perceptions and their own emotional body, and that maybe they don't feel their emotions with as much depth as you do. So I think there are aspects of your energy that this person either misinterprets or does not fully understand. Let's get into the tarot. I'm also gonna have a sip of water. It almost makes me feel like for some of you, you may have tried to explain yourself to this person so many times, because my throat suddenly feels really dry. And I have been talking for a while, but I did drink a lot of water in between. And this feels like exceptionally dry. So you may have found it very difficult to make yourself heard to this person, to make your desires, to make like why you're upset with them or what they would need to do to make this relationship work. I feel like you may have tried to be very honest with them many times, and they may have just not been able to meet you halfway or meet you where you were or meet your expectations in that sense. And that for some of you, this might be because they were dealing with their own thing, but there is a bit of an emotionally unavailable tinge to this person's energy. I realized I didn't pick out a deck for you yet. I don't know how that happened, but we're gonna go with the groovy weight. Oh, and before I get into this, I actually quickly want to talk about the extended, because when I leave it as the last thing, I tend to forget. In the extended, we will look at how this person is currently feeling about you and where they're at with their feelings about the connection. We will get tons of channeled messages from them. We will get channeled messages from your higher self, and we will get a message from their higher self revealing a truth that you need to know right now about this connection. Whatever needs to come through, whatever you're missing, whatever we haven't talked about. And the link is down below. With that out of the way, let's back into this energy. How does the person on pile 3's mind think pile 3 feels about them? What does this person think pile 3 feels? How does this person think pile 3 is feeling about them? We have the 6 of Pentacles in reverse. We have the Ace of Cups. We have Justice in reverse. We have the 7 of Cups and the Hierophant. Can we clarify the 6 of Pentacles in reverse, please? 6 of Pentacles in reverse. How does this person... We have the 5 of Wands in reverse. How does this person think pile 3 feels? Clarify the Ace of Cups. We have the Knight of Swords in reverse and the Sun in reverse. The central energy is a very loud, like, pile 3 is not happy with me. Pile 3 is not happy with how I am. Pile 3 is not happy with who I am. And I feel like that is maybe once again a very simplistic way of looking at how you may have reacted to their actions. It seems like there is a step missing in their perception, and they may have just been jumping to conclusions about like you writing them off without really 17. I just saw 1717, and right before I started filming your pile On the time, I saw 1717 as well, so that could be significant as a side note. But I feel like this person is also potentially coming from a hurt place, but hurt that goes way beyond your connection itself. It's not hurt that you have inflicted upon them, but it feels like their perspective is very affected by this feeling of like rejection. I think they think you are rejecting them in certain ways, or denying them certain things you used to not deny to them, like love and attention and care and your energy. For one, no one is entitled to your energy or your love. You're not obliged to give anything to anyone. You don't owe anyone anything. And you are free to do what feels right to you, free to react to ways that make people, to things that people make you feel. So I want to validate that first. But I think the way this person looks at it a bit is like pile 3 does not accept me for who I am. They want me to be different, but this is who I am. This is who I always was. And I don't understand that. That's kind of what it feels like in terms of where their thought process might stem from. They, I think, have a perception that if they were to show more tenderness or show up more in this connection, show up in a more giving way, they might be able to change your mind. That might be frustrating to hear as well. If that's not where you're at all. But then again, I feel like this person is very biased by where they're at right now in terms of their perceptions. So we have the 2 of Pentacles. And we have the 10 of Wands. There is definitely an energy of this person feeling like you wish for more balance between the 2 of you. You wish for agreement. You wish for peace. For some of you, this person could have cheating could have been involved in this situation, or they could have been juggling a few people. But if that is the case, you would already know about it. So please don't be alarmed if that's not the case. I don't want to put something in your head like that's not there. I feel like if that is the case, this would have been the reason why, or one of the reasons why this connection ended. Like, you would be very much aware of what this person's been up to. I feel like things are out in the open in this situation, so it's not so much that this person feels like they're getting away with something, but it's more so that they feel like their actions don't fly anymore, and you have kind of held them accountable. And with this Hierophant energy and the 10 of Wands, it almost feels like this person sees you take responsibility for them as well, or justify their behaviors to yourself. This might be something that maybe you did in the past, and they might think that it's happening again, that you always end at a point of forgiveness and acceptance and openness again. And that is a beautiful ability to have, to be able to have so much compassion, so much belief in other people, so much faith, so much love for others that you freely share. But it also feels a bit like maybe in this situation, that energy was taken advantage of, regardless of what this person's intentions were, regardless of whether they were aware of what they were doing or this kind of happened unintentionally because they are not connected to themselves. They are hurting, which is, while it's not an excuse to hurt other people, there is that saying that says hurt people, but it does not say it's justified that hurt people. But this could have been a case of that, of hurt people. It may have manifested like this person's past pain, their self-limiting beliefs, or whatever may be going on within them. But I do feel this is someone who is quite disconnected from themselves and disconnected from their emotional body, and someone who was potentially taught to be unemotional, or that emotions are bad, emotions are weak. And that is not true. That is just not true. It's just, who came up with that? I don't know, but this might be someone who has thoughts like that, and that may make them very emotionally disconnected and emotionally unavailable. And that could have been how they showed up in the connection. It does feel like it started off very promising, but then it feels like things just took a twist for the worse. This person, the main thing that is coming through is that right now you are not happy with this person, and you are not really giving to them for the time being. But I don't think this person feels right now that that is out of the question. I think they don't see it as a possibility that is no more. And I think they still see you as desiring change, if that is something that they would be able to give to you or show you. Is there anything else that wants to come through? We have the Eight of Cups in reverse. Yeah, it feels like they perceive you to want to reconcile this situation in some way, or make amends in some way, or to bring more peace into this situation, but regardless, to leave the battlefield behind between the two of you. Because it almost feels like a battle, and not like you were fighting together against something else, against the outside world or whatever could have blocked a relationship, but it feels more like you ended up fighting against each other. I also, since I started filming your pile, I heard the tram a few times, and normally you don't really hear that from my room, and it doesn't go past like directly in front of my house. So trams could be significant, or cities that have like the tram. I don't know. Is there anything else that we are missing that we should talk about how this person thinks pile 3 feels? Okay. I think this is all. Bottom deck energy again is the Eight of Cups in reverse, so I feel like this was all we had to kind of get out of the way. But in that case, I will now take this to the extended. I will see you in a little bit if you're meeting me there, and if not, I'm already sending you tons of love. Take care, and bye.